Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Institute. Let's see what is a class in Java. So in object-oriented programming technique, we design a program using classes and objects. Without class and objects, we cannot write a program into the pure object-oriented programming. So why we declare a class first thing, and why we create an object of that. In a real world approach, human also interacts with the different entity in the form of objects. So human understand the concept of objects, and that's why object oriented programming is better than the procedural approach, because human easily remember the objects, and as per the convenience. So this technology, this concept is introduced in a programming, in a software model, so that is objects, and define in classes, and then create a different objects, and then interact with the different objects, and then make a relation between the different objects. And that's why classes and objects are important in object oriented programming. So what is a class? So class is a blueprint from which individual objects are created. So class is nothing but a template. Class is just a structure where the human can think about the particular object. So class is a logical entity, it is not at all a physical entity. So class, what are the different examples of classes? Like a student, employee, person, like a fan, you can say it's a computer. So these are the example of classes. And if you take an example of objects, so when you put in data inside that template, then it becomes an object. So we'll see what is an object. So what is an object? Object is an entity that has a state and behavior. It is known as an object. So what is a state? What is a behavior? So state means it represents a data, and behavior means it represents the functions, the functionality of the particular object. So object is a physical entity. So object having the existence in the real world, but the class is not having any real existence in the world. On an class we create an object, but class is a logical entity. It is not at all a physical, and object is a physical entity. So object has a main two characteristics. First is a state. What is a state? The state represents the data value of an object. That means where we can put in data. So the number of fields is nothing but the state of that object. And what is a behavior? The behavior means on that data, if you want to perform multiple operations, maybe the different operations. If we take an example of banking, in a banking the deposit amount is your data, but the deposit and withdraw, these are the functions on that amount. So this is a behavior, and state is your nothing but in money. Yes. So behavior, how we represent in a programming, is using the functions or methods. Okay. Another third characteristic is also important for an object, but this is for the member related, that is identity. An object identity is typically implemented via unique ID. So unique ID is maintained inside the memory. In case of a Java, this ID, the value of an ID is not visible to the external user, means client cannot see what is the ID of the particular object. However, it is used internally by the JVM. So Java virtual machine maintains one unique ID for respective to the objects, and on the basis of that ID, JVM will know the different objects inside the memory, and on that, based on that ID, JVM will perform the allocation and deallocation of the objects. So these are some internal concepts related to the objects. State and behavior are the two important properties for an object. Most of the time question is asked, what is an object? So we have to just give the answer. So object having a main two properties, that is state and behavior. State represents an data, and behavior represents the functionality of that object. And object is a physical entity, and class is a logical entity. For example, we will see one example. So we take an example of a class student. So what is a student? Yes, so the student is a logical entity, correct? But what is a student? So if you consider an image of a student is like this. So image the student having the uniform, student having the number of books, carrying a number of books. He or she taken admission, she stood in a particular class, etc, etc, etc. Yes, so class, the student is in just a logical entity. But if you ask a question, to whom we can call a student? Okay, so if an entity having a roll number, name, class name, etc., etc., then we can say he is a student, correct? So for example, so look at now object, it's a physical entity. Student 101 name is John, and if suppose he is studying in a TY, so now this value 101 roll number John and TY, it is having a state, correct? So it is having its own identity. Okay, so that's why it is having a physical existence. So class is not having physical existence. For example, in your class, suppose 17 students are studying, so 70 students are having a common behavior. But if particularly if we call with a roll number, so now individual students having their own state and behavior, correct? So that is an object. So these objects are important, and these objects are based on the logical entity that is in class. So class basically it's a collection of the data member and the behavior, that is a methods, and on the basis of class we create an objects, and then we just interact with those objects in a software model. Okay, we take another example. So let's say a second example, class date. So date is a logical entity, right? Now just ask the question, what is date? Yes, so if an entity is having a day, month and year, etc., then we can say it is a date, correct? Now what is an object of a date? So if we think about an object, so object is 0102 2018, for example, this is an day, month and year. Now this is exactly an object. So 0102, that is a 1st February 2018, having a physical existence, correct? But this date is just a logical entity. But if we want to create an object, we want this logical entity. That's why we create a class. Okay, now how the memory is allocated for this is like this: day, month and year, 0102 2018, and this is an your object. Okay, so for a class the memory is not allocated, the object memory gets allocated. Always remember it. Okay, and this is a physical entity. Now in a software, in a programming, in what is the software object? Yes, software objects are conceptually similar to the real objects. So for example, here this is a software object. Look here, the field, that is states, that is your data members, and the methods, that is a behavior. This is your outer part. Inner part is your data and outer part is your method. So inner part, that is your main important part, and that is a secure part, correct? And outer part is your behavior. So using the behavior you can access the internal part, that is a private part, but directly don't give an access to the data. Yes, so that's why we declare the data as in private and methods as in public. So this is related to the standard programming rule. Now object stores its state in a fields, that is in a data memory. Yes, that is a fields, and it exposes its behavior through the method. That is, some programming it is known as function, and in Java we say it's a methods. So objects is a basically important to the related to the data, and this is your behavior. That data we are applying on in that behavior. Okay, so in software objects, always remember the fields are important. This is secure one, and then behavior, and behavior we can access using objects outside the class if it is accessible. Okay, but the data, don't give a direct access to the data, otherwise the security may lose and invalid data may come to the or you can work on that, or incorrect data you will get at the time of processing. Okay, so let's see the example with an demonstration. So let's see an example on a date class. So I create a project. So I create the class date, finish. Now look here, So I define the private integer day, then define the private integer month and private integer year. Okay, now let's define the constructor. So constructor declare as a public, there is no return type for the constructor having same name of the class name. So class name is a date, the constructor name is a date. So it's a parameterless constructor. And now define the data members and initialize it with the default values, or depends on the user requirement. So month is 0 and this dot here is equal to 0. Okay, and now define the parameterized constructor. Yes, so how to define the parameterized constructor is like this: public date, and the parameterized constructor also takes d, month and year. And now look at this dot day is equal to, you can assign the d, this dot month you assign the m, and this dot here you assign the y. Yes, and here define the accessor and mutators for the function, for the data members. So what are the data members? Day, month and year. So how to define the accessor and mutators? So accessor which get the value, right? So which returns the value. So what will be the return type of this is depends on the data type. So it is a like in this get day, this is your accessor, so return the day. So I will return it this dot day, correct? And now you just copy paste this. This is for your month. Okay, and this is for your year. Let's start. Yeah. Okay, now this is about the accessors, getter methods, you can see. And now we define the setters, right? So setter doesn't have any return type, so set day, and set day is depends on the user input. So suppose I define a d, and this dot day is equal to day. So this is your setter, or you can say modifier for the day. Similarly you define it for month. Similarly you define it for year, and this is for y. Yes, year is equal to y. Now just check here, class date having day, month and year are the data members. Then this is a parameterless constructor, initializes to the 0. Then define the parameterized constructor, initialize with the arguments, user defined arguments at the time of object creation. Then this is accessors for a day, this is accessor for a month, this is accessor for year, or you can say getter for day, month and year. And then it is a modifier for day, month and year. Modifier means which modifies the instance variable, value of the instance variable. Okay, and then if I want to display the data, so I can write a method. So here I don't want to write any input output statement inside the class. That is a standard practice. So I want to return the data in the form of string. So how to return it? So you go with the toString. There is a method available and you return it. It is user defined method basically, or you can override with the help of superclass. Now return, what we have to return it? We have to return it this dot get the day, correct? And then we have to define this dot get the month, and this dot get the, sorry, we have to go like this dot get the year, correct? Here, okay, appending, and here suppose I give a message date colon is equal to plus. Okay, so look at again class date, private data members, public constructor, parameterless, parameterized public constructor, getter setters, all are public, yes, and then public toString. So this is your standard class date. Class is also public, and when your class is public, it must be the file name must be the same of your class. So date.java, and your class is also date, it is a public. Now this is available in your default package. Now I create another class to test the date class. So right here test date. Okay, I want now main method, and here I want to test it. Now look here, I have to go with like this date object 1. So I declare as a d1. So it's suppose it's a d1 new date. So I create an object using parameterless constructor, and then suppose I write here a SOP statement system.out println or print, and suppose here I go like this d1 dot, you call it toString, yes. So whatever the data is available for toString, it will print. So I go with the ln. This is for the second object. This is for d2, right? And suppose here I pass. Now what is this 31/31 comma today's date is August 31 August 2020. Okay. Okay. So it is giving me error. Just look at it. Okay. Okay, now look here. So now this is, you have to print with a d2 object, correct? And here parameterized constructor gets called. For first object, parameterless constructor gets called, and then d1 dot toString. So whatever the value for a d1 object, it will print. Now what is value of d1 objects? Just check it. When object gets created, this constructor gets called. This dot day month and year 000. Now here toString gets called. What is the value of toString? toString will get a get day. What is get day? This is a value for the current object day. What is value for current object for a d1? It is a 0. Same for month, same for year. Yes. Now for a d2, what will happen? 31/8/2020. So it will pass. It will come here. So parameterized constructor gets called, and then these d month, d m and y, these parameters are set to day month and year for the current object. Which is the current object? d2 is now current object. and now toString gets called in a toString, and it returns you the get day, month and year. Now just save the program and just run it. Now just check the output. Look here, first date is 000, it's a default, and now it's a 31 8 and 2020 for a D2 object. Okay, so now you can create n number of objects of date class, and here D1 is object, D2 is object, it is having its own memory, D1 having physical existence, D2 also having physical existence, but date is your class, so it's a template. So for a D1 and for a D2, the structure of the class is used the same, that is your date class. Okay, so this is your basically template for the objects. Are you getting? Yes, and these are your objects. Yes, this is D1 and D2. So basically D1 is the reference pointing to this object, and D2 is the reference pointing to this objects. Now after this line it becomes now objects, so D1 and D2 are the objects. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask a question based on this. You can make a comment in a comment box. I hope you understood this, and please follow the standard structure of the class. Look, the my date class is a public, data members are private, constructors are public. Okay, and there is no any input and output statement inside the class. I am passing an input using the constructors, and then I am getting an output using the functions, methods. Okay, so there should not be any input and output statement inside the class. This is a standard rule for the object oriented programming, and that's why this class, n number of entities you can create for this class in any platform. It may be in desktop level, web level, okay, or in mobile level, because there is no any input and output statement inside this class. Input and output statement depends on which type you are using this class. So SOP statement will only work for the desktop level applications. That's why we are using the test date class. This is separate, we are not writing here. So if you write a SOP statement inside this class, what will happen? This program will only work on the desktop level applications. This class will not be work on the web level applications, because their input and output streams are the different streams. That means the way to take an input and output in web level is different. That's why we have to pass it through the constructor, and the object creation way is same in a desktop level and web level in a Java, and that's why it is recommended to go with the standard structure of the class. Okay, so I stop here. Thank you.